Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Humankind. We are playing as Carthage, the nation formerly known as Phoenicia. We have got our capital city here in Mahoro, which is a pretty gargantuan settlement, to be honest. It takes up the entirety of this northern region of the continent. It has a whopping population of 27 on turn 178. And it mostly comprises of just a bunch of shipyards, kothons, havens, harbours, that type of thing, because we make most of our resources through the sea. So a lot of our money comes through that, a lot of our production comes through that. It's really quite good. We are in the process of building more market quarters, because market quarters plus the luxuries, which we again have a lot of, equals a lot of cash. And yeah, it's just generally quite a good location, honestly. We have set up our second settlement here in Akathesiak, which again, likewise, is being supported by the Kothons, who are making all of the resources. And in fact, we should probably put one right there so we can grab that science. Although I think we're already grabbing it. If it's on the map, we get it. Is that right? No, because I have that off. So no, that science is not actually being produced, I don't think. Although it doesn't say it would be gained. How can I see how much science we're getting? We're getting 9 a turn, 6 from exploitations, 2, 4... That would technically be 8. Oh no, exploitations are those two. That's 6. And then we have 2 which are from the district, which is here, that's the main plaza, 2. And then civilization bonus. So yes, the exploitations, you do get them like that. So if they're on the map on here, you get them. Cool. So no, I don't need to have anything specifically to grab that science. That is fine. However, if I want to increase the amount of science we're getting, then we would need to do something special. In the meantime, we can think about building some other stuff. Do you need stability? You do, actually. So let's get you getting a fountain. Then we could also get food from farmers and from horses. Rivers doesn't help you. Influence does. We definitely need you to get some influence. We probably want the resources from forests. Let's do that. Money from market quarters. Don't think we necessarily need that. We do have a food market here, don't we? I mean, we should do. Animal barns we can grab. Granary we can grab. Food on rivers. I mean, actually a lot of our food production is on the river, so yes, we can do that. Industry. We don't actually have any makers' quarters, although we do have copper. So we'll build you. Industry from forests, we're not doing that yet. Industry from mountains and rocks, we are actually not doing that yet. Let's clear you. Garrison production stuff, don't really care, don't really care, don't really care. We probably could do with extra science for researchers, though. Okay, so we've got some more infrastructures set up. We've got a population which is very soon going to be exhausted, but we do have a whole bunch of other structures and things set up. We are making a lot of money, which we can use to buy more of them with. Alright, end turn. Onwards and upwards. So we've got hydrology, which is going to give us aqueducts, water mills, and artificial reservoirs. Okay, then. And then we have a couple of armies lost at sea. But we'll deal with those in just a moment. So what do we want to get next? Rhetoric is more influence in the main plaza, which I would quite like to have. Also, faith on holy sites would also be welcome. And the administrator, actually. So let's grab philosophy and then rhetoric. I think that's going to be good for us. And then possibly straight on to foreign outposts, so that we can get the quadriremes, another administrator, and then interpreters. Modify all resource money costs by 10% when buying a resource through trade. So that will make buying resources through trade cheaper. Okay, so you are out in the middle of nowhere at the moment, although these are coastal waters. So let's go ahead and sail over here, and that is really cold. What's that? Silver? Ooh, okay. The only question is, how on earth do we get there? Because there's no way my transports can make that jump. None. It's a little unfortunate because we would basically need to exploit this area with Kothons, so we would need to do it soon. So unless these islands connect somehow to this, that's going to be very difficult to get to. Besides which, our transports can't jump across there. Although, transports, no, they still only move 2. So they did not benefit from the extra movement from the lighthouse. Confirmed. Which was good to check, because you guys just came onto land. And you're immediately building the outpost there. That's fine. Alright, so how close are we to getting the next era star, which would theoretically allow us to move into the Middle Ages? We're actually 2 turns away, because we'll get finance in 2 turns. We'll get technology in 4. We'll probably get influence soon as well. But then again, we are a mile ahead of everyone else, so there you go. Can you get different maps with Lucy? No, it's just the one map. But quite honestly, this map is significantly bigger than you may otherwise expect. Like, you'll probably recognize this area, because this is generally where players start. I think your units start right here. So in my first game, we had our capital right where Memphis is. Actually, although our capital was there. But same region. Then in the second game, we built our capital down here. In this zone, I think it was. Yeah, because they took this one before I could take it. So we were based here, and now we're in the far, far north, where all the coffee is, moving out into the islands, which are like a whole other area which don't usually get explored. Because the second continent isn't actually here, I don't think. I think it's actually in here. Which I've like seen once, the very, very sure of, never managed to land. We just saw their borders. So I'm hoping that things change a little bit this time around. So Maharo just grew again. So Maharo once more needs population growth. Unfortunately, we can't afford the market quarter this turn, but next turn we can. So that should be fine. Still astonished that this place is completely maxed out and we are struggling to stay ahead. Another population. We're now actually over the limit. I wonder what effect that has. Probably just means that there's a wasted person. But we can now buy that market quarter, which will start us on the next one, and also our income is increasing rather nicely. Okay, so you guys have arrived. That's going to be 2 turns away, which we do need to genuinely wait for. Then I think what I'm going to do is we're going to detach you.
Alright.
And you. I shouldn't have turned them into horsemen. That was a waste. This guy can stay as a horseman, though. And then I guess go and explore some other stuff, although, quite frankly, I think I'd kind of prefer to do that with a boat. Let's get a 3rd ship going, which we'll give a priority to, and we'll just go ahead and buy it. And then you can sail up to here. So then this horseman is going to stick around until we're ready to establish another settlement. Phoenicia into Carthage seems really strong. Phoenicia into Carthage is exceptionally strong. It's great. In fact, you two may as well join the outpost right now. So disbanding the units isn't actually disbanding them. They're being added to the outpost. As long as you disband in a friendly settlement, friendly area, they'll be added to the local settlement. Okay. You hang out there. You continue. There's probably not a huge amount of point exploring Silver Island until we find a way of getting there. So you go ahead and sail out like this. And we'll see if we can find a better path over. Which is probably going to be along here, or maybe even round the back. But like I said, there is a whole lot more space out here than you would have expected. Hey, Effa. Any thoughts on which region is the best for your first city if you want to go naval? Right where I am right now. Because the nice thing about this is naval nations tend to be commercial, and there are 2 luxury resources in your starting place and 1 right next door. So you can really start to manipulate those with market centres. And also, it is the closest to the island chain up here, where you can then start to spread out. And you're basically uncontested here. The other thing which I have to say I personally like is you're then not competing with these 3 AI, which kind of needed a bit more space to actually have a chance to spread out and grow and actually become a bit more of a threat, which they are now able to do because they're not competing with me because I'm going to a completely different area. Starting as the Nubians on this map is also OP. Watched Gamer Zach and he was buying everything. Yeah, money is pretty powerful. Especially the way that I'm playing at the moment, because Phoenicia gives you a 20% discount on purchases. Carthage gives you a 50% discount on purchases. Yes, the 2 stack. And I have the Great Pyramids, which mean that I have another 25% discount on districts. Except that's to the base price. The base price is 25% cheaper, and then we have a 70% reduction in the cost to actually purchase. So we're pretty strong. Settled in the one in the south of 2 rivers is rich, but not a lot around it. I mean, there are a lot of rivers here. The other good coastal area is this one, because you've got the Great Barrier Reef right here. And then there is actually another island to colonize in here. And this is actually the easiest jump to the other island. So if you want to go with like a really trade-heavy, rather than necessarily a naval game, then maybe settle here. You just need to make sure you beat purple, because purple will want this spot. It's the same map for all. Yeah, this is only OpenDev, so this is basically early access. So there is just the 1 map. I fully expect there to be fully randomized maps for release, though. I mean, that's not until April. They still have time to work on that. Because generally the way that they work on OpenDev is they try to keep as many things as similar as possible, because that allows them to track the data of what players are doing better. So, for example, if the Huns keep on dominating this map, it's either because the map benefits them or because the Huns are too strong. And at the moment, it's because the Huns are too strong. The struggle for dominion. The capital is the Empire's true seat of power, but now other cities with energetic populaces rise to prominence. Their leaders and other influential figures want sway over the Empire's affairs, and the question of who wields this power must be answered. Alright, we have a question of leadership. Do we have a small council, or are we autocratic? I would say that we are probably leaning towards the small council. We are trade cities. Trade cities tend to be pretty independent, pretty individualistic, and not very authoritarian. So I think we're going to go with the small council, which leads us towards libertarian. And libertarian means that we have additional bonuses on every city, as opposed to just the capital, which is this one. So I think we're going to go with the small council. We have loads of civic points, so we can easily afford it. Never had this many, it's kind of bonkers. We are still struggling a little bit with influence in our main capital area. I think that's probably just because of the sheer amount of trade we're doing. So there is influence coming in and out really quite frequently. Because look, we've also got a lot of influence over that and over that. These are the capitals. Interestingly, Brown is almost completely dwarfed by everyone else. Poor old Egypt. I don't understand how Egypt's had such a bad start. They're in the perfect position. They are in the strongest province of these islands. And this is an industrial province, and Egypt's the ultimate industrialist. So how have you done so poorly? I don't understand. Alright, you can't move this turn. That's okay. You're sailing around. You've got an extra movement, which we can put to here. We've got coastal over there, so we just need to jump over that. That's fine. If we had a transport, they would go 2, 3, 4. So transports can also make it across, if they need to. And there we go. Last era star has been unlocked, so we could theoretically go medieval. But we're 3 stars ahead of second place, so I don't think we're really in any hurry. A council of the finest merchants and sailors in all of Carthage. Exactly. Alright, let's jump over. And have a bit of a look-see over here. So what I could do is sail out 3. And then we would have the, you need to go home, quickly. Warning, which will get us down to about here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, we can get down to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we can get to that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although, probably better off to try and get over to here. Oh no, they've already taken the coastal here, so this is going to be the easiest place to jump out from. And then we'll basically have to try and go around... Oh no, we've got access through their borders now. So yeah, we can sail through their coast. And see what's what. You want an alliance with me, Egypt? Oh no, you're Meier now. Okay, you have changed. Good. I don't know about an alliance. No, I'm happy to be good friends with you. Especially as you're reverential towards us. But no. This does remind me, though, I need to double check the trade resources of these guys and just make sure I am buying all the things. I'll have that. I'll have that. Oh, I can't afford that one. Disaster. This also means I can't build another place in Maharo. So your population is probably maxing out. Nope, we've still got space. Alright, so we've got a boat here. You are going to head north to go and check this region out. There are ways across. Whoops. Yeah, that's fine. So next turn we'll start going that way. Because I'm trying to find a way of crossing over with transports. The only problem is getting across this, which I don't think we can do. So this is going to be beyond us until Middle Ages? Oh, it's a Norse, which just gets us more food. It's another unique shipyard. Brilliant. The first calendar. The invention of the calendar heralded a glorious day in the Empire's history. Now, with 2 major cities and numerous farming affairs needing to be harmonized across the land, it is time to standardize this calendar. Traders must have an easy means of synchronizing their activities. By what means do you wish to track the days? So we can go solar or we can go lunar. Solar tends to be progressive, lunar tends to be not progressive. And so far we are uber progressive. So I guess we're going to go solar just because it's in keeping with our current character. Oh, no, it's an event. Hello, event. There you go. Solar. Confirm. Remind me of that later. How are we doing for fame? So we're not a million miles away from fame 3 in science. We are 2 turns away from fame 2 in science. Sorry, in finance. We're two turns away from fame 2 in science. And we're very close to fame 2 in aesthetics as well. I don't think we'll make fame 3 in production, though. I mean, we might do. Curiosity is being collected. Alright then. And there's philosophy, which gets us yet another administrator. So we've actually got 2 spare administrators at this point. I've fallen behind. Maharo's gained more population, and then somebody has locked a world deed. And we have an army lost at sea. Huzzah! That's okay. They're not really lost. Is there any benefit to getting more cities rather than expanding it? Yeah, so individual cities have their own individual growth. So theoretically, if you have multiple large cities, they will grow faster than one big one. Although generally, if you have a high population, the high population contributes more to growth. The other thing is multiple cities, you have just more places to build stuff. So you have better coverage. Like if I have a city here and a city here, as opposed to just one giant city that encompasses all three, then I probably have a production base over here. Although you can use garrisons for that too. They're harder to conquer because your opponent has to take multiple entities as opposed to just one. With a larger city, how do you control what's being farmed? I mean, farming control is all based on your districts. So you choose what you're producing and where by building the districts in the right places. And also, I think it would be slightly easier to specialize with multiple cities, because you can be a little bit more reactive to what the local area allows. But for the big city, you only need to build one set of infrastructure, so you do save some time with not having to basically duplicate stuff. KM Can, thank you very much for the resubscription with Prime Gaming. I very much appreciate that. Keep up the amazing work. I will endeavour to do so. Thank you. Thanks very much. I'm not so fond of how the same civilization changes the name so drastically every era. I like the trait inheritance system, but changing from Chinese to Maya, and then French is a bit much. Maybe they should implement a system for generating original civilization names based on the cultures you choose. But how would you do that? Like switching from... what were they called? The Mexican culture in the ancient era to suddenly the Chinese culture, or Korean, in the second one. Like, I don't think you could ever do that. There are too many variations. What is the Daintree region in the middle of the map? Daintree? Not sure I know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean. Can you give yourself a custom name? I mean, your custom name is basically whatever your player name is, which right now you can't do because everything is just Lucy. But in the future, they do intend to have customizable avatars, and then it's basically around what your avatar does, as opposed to your civilization. So, like, right now, we're up against Vlad, although he looks suspiciously like Zerator, and Lamardia, who just happens to be Meier right now. Already dig the aesthetic more than Civ 6. I mean, I don't hate Civ 6's aesthetic as many people do. It actually kind of grew on me over time. But yeah, this one, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I really like that. I did mention during the stream yesterday, I don't usually say, right, I want that game, a strategy game based on its graphics. But the first time that they showcased how this game looked, I was like, yeah, I'm sold. Gimme, gimme, gimme. And then once they started talking about the mechanics, I was like, okay, that sounds even better. But just the way it looks, just the way like the cities evolve and grow over time is just so cool. And it's based on what you do. It's based on what your culture is. It's based on your terrain. It kind of molds itself around that. It's just really nice. Alright, so you are currently out at sea. You are heading back to here. I was kind of hoping that we would have seen something to go and explore, but unfortunately that's not the case. Oh, I miscalculated. He did have one extra move. Sweet. So we can just go 6 out this way and see if we see anything next turn. That's about as far out as we're going to be able to get. And then we have that outpost, which should, in theory, be built next turn. Ah, you guys have made it home. Finally. Awesome. I think what I might do with you is have you rest up first of all, and then I'll probably upgrade you into cavalry. Yeah, see, this is the thing. I should have added those two to the outpost. Or we could have you moving to a new outpost. That's also true. The Great Blue Hole. I didn't even realize there were more areas to discover. Yeah, there it is. Coastal water. All manner of sea creatures stalk their holes uncharted depths, from sharks to gobbies to angelfish. Interesting, so that is another natural wonder. It does kind of look like you'll be able to cross between those two. So that's how you get down to the Silver Island. Still doesn't answer how we cross this bit, though. This bit's still just too far. So if we did take a... Oops, I'm in the wrong space. I meant to go to technology. How far are we from the Middle Ages seafaring mastery? No, that's just an exploring ship. I might not even be into early medieval, early modern. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to get over there until early modern. Three-masted ship, it's this, the Caravel. That's the next tier of naval transport. But that just ignores penalties. Is there not one which takes no damage? No, I don't think so. If I went Norse... Movement speed on naval unit. I don't think that counts for transports. And in fact, the longship... Wait, that's a transport. Replaces land units that embark to travel across ocean tiles. Ignores any penalties from deep water. So, if we were the Norse, we could get there first. Hey, it's Vinland all over again. Okay. That is a pretty big reason to switch age sooner rather than later. I mean, there are other options, but Norse is definitely... It's kind of like Carthage. There are other options, but it's just kind of top. Axiomatic. Managed to gain extra population, so you're up to a 4. That's good. Mahoro is still building markets. Right, before we do that, I want to have a word with you guys. Just make sure I am buying everything you sell. Thank you. Already buying all of your stuff. Already buying all of your stuff. So really my best trading partner right now is Vlad. We're just buying all of his stuff. I do wonder if us buying this and then selling it on to others is working. Because that's apparently the merchant's main benefit. Oh, it also halves the cost when buying resources. Interesting. So we're just going to have access to all of the kit. It's a one-off payment. Alright, so ships. Oh no, because it's still only going to be a 4, unless it's going across the top here. Oh, this has been inhabited by someone. Let's go and say hi. Let's go this way. $50 science. Oof. Alright, this might actually go further across than I realized. This is like Greenland. Acknowledged. And then you are just going 6 out into the unknown. And we're going to see if we see a coastline in the distance or not. Nothing.